Do you think that Elvis wore arch support in his blue suede shoes?
No, but I have seen his foot x-ray, actually.
Of course.
Where do you find a foot x-ray of Elvis?
We made rugby union boots for some of the wallabies who had really big feet. You know, what do you do if you've got a size 17 foot?
You must get a bit of a kick about it, seeing your shoes on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyone who'd seen the Elvis movie, the purple Cadillac that Austin Butler drives in that's my car. And anyway, and I'm driving Chris.
Just casually, wow.
Actually.
Welcome to the Comfort Walk and Talk, where every step towards comfort is a step towards a healthier you.
We're your hosts, Ash,
Jeff,
And Ben.
together let's walk the talk, transforming your lives from the ground up.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Comfort Walk and Talk. I'm your host Ben. I'm here today with Greg and Darren. We had them on last week to talk about My FootDr and everything there. But it turns out that's only the start of the story, isn't it? Podiatry can take you some places, just like your feet can. So we're here to learn a bit more about their story and what happened after My FootDr. So welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be here, Ben. Thanks, Ash.
We'll start with the obvious, shall we? You guys are dressed up in some pretty funky gear there. Tell us a bit about Cauldron and what that is.
Thanks, Benny. Yeah, well, we stepped away from full-time roles at Healthier and My FootDr around about 2019, so it freed up some time for us to maybe explore some passion projects, and we quite enjoy a drinking company, and so
Responsibly, of course.
Responsibly, yeah. The craft spirit scene was really intriguing to us, and so we started to do a little bit of exploration. Went and had this amazing trip to Tasmania, where we got to meet Bill Lark, and we visited a great distillery in central Tassie, a cooperage. Went and visited a still maker, and I think by the time we came back from that trip, we were pretty convinced that we wanted to open our own distillery.
The bug.
I got the bug, yeah. My brother, who's the third partner in our distillery business, he was really keen to just explore something where we're creating a product. And I suppose that's part of the pull, was that in a service industry, there's lots and lots of moments of instant gratification. You're helping people, you're working and troubleshooting, you're solving situations. But at the end of the day, you know, there's positive comments and a thank you, but nothing that really holds your own name. And so this moving into a manufacturing business, which is also, of course, a bit of a retail business and a destination that we've created up at Tambourine Mountain for Cauldron was really a calling, I think. And so here we are today. We're basically 3 years since we opened the distillery, and talking about that, I'm feeling a little thirsty, and we've placed a couple of little presents underneath your chair.
You know, if you're lucky, look.
Close your eyes. And I want you to reach down.
Reach down. There might be something down there.
And under there is one of our Cauldron Distillery ready-to-drink cans. So these have been curated with beautiful mixes to make a
Love that sound.
beautiful, refreshing drink.
That one was for our listeners on Spotify. You're welcome.
ASMR.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Might have to get you on next week as well, hey?
Why not?
One way to get
We
us.
do have some whiskey that's due soon, so maybe another couple of months and we'll be back.
There you go. It's an alcohol podcast now, guys, by the way. We've made the shift. No, so you guys do your Cauldron stuff. Is that on the side of My FootDr as well, or have you taken a step back from that?
Well, Darren and I both, worked, I guess, between us, good 30 odd years or so in management positions there. And I guess, we're pretty much out of management now. So it's well and truly on the side. We still work a couple of days a month in the clinics. We have in those few days, we still have a pretty significant caseload. They're all very complex cases, stuff that we really enjoy doing. Darren, he's the sort of head distiller there, and he spends a good few days a week, I'd say. We've sent him over to the Netherlands, so he's actually done a master distiller's course over there now. He's
You can tell.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well, I'm actually going back to school again, so I'm going to TAFE for the first time in my life. I'm going to do a Certificate 3 in Food Technology, which is prefaced around distilling, which is great. But yeah, we're still invited in to provide some strategic input into Healthier, the broader Healthier and My FootDr businesses, as well as, I suppose you would call it passive mentoring roles. So we've got a number of clinicians that reach out to us regularly for advice, and and we're happy to give that, to be honest with you.
Just setting up a formal training program too for these young podiatrists that want to come through, that want to do what Darren and I have done, and that's the scope of practice that they want. So we're setting up a formal training program so that we can sort of pass that on to the next generation. Well, we enjoy. My job is the chief taste tester.
So that's important.
Quality control.
Yeah.
So I test and measure, test and measure.
I make 3 bottles of a new blend, and then he drinks it and says it's only 95% right, and then the next week it's 3 more bottles, 96%.
Actually, we do have
15 to 20 bottles before he says it's good enough.
We do have a 5. It's a 5 litres still, which works out perfectly because when Darren makes a gin, it makes exactly 3 bottles. There's 3 owners. You get coincidence? I think not.
I normally have one at the distillery. He takes my bottle home.
We take one each. We have a sip. We share it with our friends. We work out if we can improve upon it, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Are there any correlations between the gin business and the podiatry business? Like anything that you found, this takes me back, or you mentioned that, the instant gratification of being in the service industry. Is there anything that you've gone into this business? It's obviously very different in a lot of ways, but is there anything that you've gone, this is, I can do this, and it's,
Heavy users can't walk both times. So.
True, yeah.
Look, it's there's a saying in this industry, in the spirits industry, that it's relatively easy to make good liquid. It's actually pretty hard to sell it. So Greg and I have adapted our sales capacity in a really authentic way over the years. So we've definitely been able to bring that to the new business, as well as building brands that are going to be enduring rather than a brand that's sort of here one day and gone the next. So setting it up structurally right, developing a really good organic base for support for the business. We've been able to do that. And then, of course, distilling is largely science. So we are scientists by training, I suppose. So
setting up a team, let's face it, it's a framework. We've got a great team. We're building a fantastic team of people up there on the mountain, in sales and in manufacturing. And we've got a great bar. If anyone wants to come on a, there's always live music on a Saturday and a Sunday. So people can come and have a bit of a sip up there and listen to some music, and we've got great.
Confirm it's awesome.
Sorry,
I've been there myself. Can confirm it's real cool.
I love the fact too that you're continuing education in the podiatry world. I'm assuming there's always new innovations. There's always things that are changing. The fact that you're continuing that education further in a new field is amazing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I think there's always going to be a burning passion for podiatry and for the My FootDr and Healthier group. So we're passionate about that, and we want to give back as much as we can. At the same time, we're loving this passion project here, and I'm
very passionate about it. Well, this is a thirst for knowledge. That we just because we're not working in the podiatry clinic every day doesn't mean we don't want to learn new skills. And like the Renaissance man back in the day, they were sort of share farmers. They'd look after their crop. They'd build their machinery. They didn't have a mechanic, so they had to learn how to fix a diesel machine, and they had to learn how to sell it and get it to market and stuff. So, you can take on any industry with the same enthusiasm as you did for the last one. So, we love that, and we've got other interests as well. So.
I was just about to go on to one of those. So you guys are a bit busy. Greg, yourself, you are an Elvis impersonator.
I don't really look much like Elvis. a bit like Jesus at the moment. I've got a great band called the Blue Cats, and I've never really been an impersonator, but they prefer the term ETA, Elvis tribute artists. I think
okay, yeah.
But I actually am at Cooley Rocks. This might date
coming up.
This might date this particular thing. I'm sorry, but at Cooley Rocks, which is next weekend, you'll see 1,200 old classic cars. Another passion of mine. But also, I'm one of the judges of the Elvis tribute artist competition, and the winner gets to go to Memphis to compete.
How good's that?
So, I'm the lead singer and rhythm guitarist in my own band, and we play all that stuff.
As Elvis, or you?
We do Elvis, Buddy Holly. We do a lot of original stuff. Look up the Blue Cats. We've got
Blue Cats.
Yeah,
that'll be in the show notes, guys. We'll leave you a link if you want to look it up.
Deja Blue. We've got a great album there. Have a listen.
Deja Blue. I love that.
Nice.
Wordplay. That's brilliant. Yeah. So were you doing the Elvis stuff the whole way through My FootDr and that as well, or you?
I started playing the guitar back when I was probably 14 years of age, I suppose, and we've always had the band. I set up the band with the local GP Billy Collier. He's the bass player, the slapper in our band, and we've been sort of knocking around now for about 25 years, I guess.
Right.
I can absolutely assure you he's been an Elvis tragic since I've known him, because every Friday was like Hawaiian shirt day, and we listened to Dean Martin and Elvis and a variety of other records through the clinic.
We did.
And
We'd play golf at the local 9-hole course at Bulimba there, and there was usually long white pants, Hawaiian shirt, big stogie, like a big Cuban cigar. We'd be puffing on at 5:30 in the morning on the first hole, and Billy and I and Darren would be there. And remember that one podiatrist that turned up?
he was on student placement.
He says he turns up and he's never played before, and he's got literally 2 clubs, and he gets there, and the thing was, if Darren or I or Billy Collier, it's a local GP at Bulimba there, if we got the hole in one at any one of these holes, that was it. Cancel the patients for the day. Friday's gone. We're going down to the casino. So Sally, who set up the original business with me, she'd be there, and Bill's wife at the time was, that's it. That they knew that if they got a call, got a hole in one, that's it.
Needless to say, there was never a single day with patients cancelled.
Yeah. So my patients got seen every bloody day. But this guy here, this young podiatry student who's basically here doing a bit of work placement, just comes up and goes, he was running late. So, sorry, puts the ball down. He's got this horrible swing.
He missed the ball first.
He's missed it completely. Then he's finally duffed it. It's run along the ground, straight in the bloody hole.
Oh my goodness.
That was it. I've never got a hole in one. I'll never get a hole in one. But this guy got on. Luckily, he didn't have any patience for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, his second goal swing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good at this game, and swing was horrible. It went straight
The
in the
remaining
bloody hole.
9 holes proved he wasn't any good at this game.
Yeah, everyone's got one shot in them, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
There you
it.
go. So, burning question: do you think that Elvis wore arch support in his blue suede shoes?
I don't know, but I have seen his foot X-ray actually.
Of course.
Where do you find a foot X-ray of Elvis?
We went over to Sally and I went over to Memphis in 2000. I think I mentioned on that last episode last week. We went over to Times Square to see the ball drop, and so we go to America. You got to go to Graceland, right? I've been there 9 times. I mean, who hasn't? That's pretty normal, right? Does it?
No, you're a freak. You're a freak.
That's pretty normal. Come on. And we went to, and right next to Elvis's mansion at Graceland, on the corner, there was a for sale sign. And I thought, we'll have a look at a bit of property. It was actually a podiatry clinic. And it was Elvis's podiatrist. And we found out that, they had, I think he was selling Elvis's foot X-ray on eBay at the time.
Oh my goodness.
So I nearly,
Sounds illegal.
I nearly bought that property. I would have owned the podiatry clinic right next to. That might have been the end of My FootDr, mate.
Yeah,
That's right at the start of it. It was when you first came on. It might have been Darren Stewart. Darren Stewart Podiatry.
Imagine how much more successful it would have been.
Yeah. We might have actually made a go of podiatry, mate.
Wow. So you brought your 2 worlds together.
That's it.
Potentially, you could have.
That's it.
Yeah.
It would have been good.
Yeah.
Some regrets there, I'm sure.
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, we did. We've done pretty well for ourselves. We've got over 100 clinics now, and so
Yeah, look, it's all right.
yeah, it's okay.
You got your passion project, a gorgeous property up on Mount Tambourine, getting some great gin. So you're doing okay. You're doing all right.
Yeah, whiskey now too.
Yeah, lovely.
Good whiskey. Daz has made a great vodka. We've got some brandy in barrels. We're looking at rum next. We've just got 3 new 2,000-litre fermenters to make some rum. Anyone like rum?
I love rum.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There's an incredible coffee liqueur looking at you, Ben, right there.
Hello.
Yeah. We've got a limoncello, which is all local mountain lemons. So we do a call out on Facebook every year, probably a couple of times a year when we need to do a new batch. And the locals will come in and they'll drop off their lemons.
Bags and buckets.
Bags and buckets and kilos. Because you really only, to make a really good limoncello, you only want the absolute outside part of the rind. You don't really want any of the pith, which is the white part of the skin, because it's bitter. You want just that, sweet lemon flavour. And the more of the white pith that you have, you've got to put more sugar in it, So we make and they come in and we just give them a voucher basically for a bottle of limoncello. So they all feel like they're contributing and bartering up there. But that's here it is there. We don't have one here, but we'll insert that later. Limoncello inserted here. Geez, you bought every other one.
I reckon Jeff has drunk it all.
Yes.
Okay, there's one missing for good reason. I would say so. Yeah,
Limoncello.
Is a big fan. But,
Yes, very good.
And so you guys talked also about, played golf. Obviously that was more of a fun thing, but tell us a bit about, some of your work in the specialty sports world. Like, I heard you.
We made custom golf shoes. We made a pair of RM Williams into a pair of golf shoes for a pro. Yeah. Down on Darren and I developed the technology to be able to make basically any shoe into a cricket shoe. And at the time, we were naming right sponsors of the Queensland Bulls. It was the My FootDr Queensland Bulls for 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And we were big sponsors with Queensland Cricket, but also Cricket Australia. We would look after all of the visiting teams when they came through. We still do. We still talk to all of the big stars. And we've made shoes for Chris Gale and MS Dhoni, all of the Aussie guys, Steve Smith and Mitchell Starc.
That World Cup in Australia, what year was that?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
We had to, how many shoes did we convert into cricket shoes?
A brand of shoe was having trouble with their shoe that they were launching. We don't want to mention brand names, of course, but we had to. There was probably 10 or 15 marquee players that this brand was looking after. So we modified every single one of these shoes. And
can I ask what makes a cricket shoe? When you say you made them into a cricket shoe?
Well, not everyone has a shoe that they can wear for every sport that's as comfortable as their favourite trainer. So if they've got a particular brand of trainer that's got the right amount of cushion, the right fit, the right level of comfort, good durability, but they want to wear it in the cricket on a cricket turf, particularly at fast bowlers or for batting. Fielding's not so much important, but you have to put a particular spike on the bottom. So you've got to pull the shoe apart. Sometimes you've got to build an orthotic in it, or you've got to make it wider. Then you've got to put this new sole on with the screw-in metal spikes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
It's
if you think
customized
about the size of the general footwear market, athletic footwear market, and you look at the size of the cricket market, it's very small. So there's a narrow number of brands and styles and width fittings. So a lot of them do it because they're just not finding the cricket shoe comfortable or durable.
Yeah.
So we just convert their favourite cross trainer into it.
That's awesome.
And then out of that sprung this whole fashion stuff. So people wanted to wear a shoe that matched their uniform.
Oh, interesting.
The West Indies wanted to have their own shoe. The Aussies wanted
the
to have a
logo
yellow
on it,
shoe.
or
Or have some names on the nicknames. And so we pioneered all this embroidery on their shoes so that they could really individualise the shoe.
Like we put Davey Warner's kids on the back of his shoe and his wife Candace on the side, and one of the funniest was Dwayne Bravo. He was the hottest man alive. # the hottest man alive. So we had to funniest things.
The West Indians don't have any egos, do they? I mean, what was Chris Gale's?
He was Gale Force. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Wasn't he Universe boss?
a universe boss. So we had
He was world boss, and then
he was world boss, but it wasn't big enough. So Chris is a good mate of ours today. When he comes to Australia, he'll hook us up and we'll get in. Actually, he's had a bit of a sip of our Cauldron as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some tonic. He likes his tonic water, and
He's a bit of a character, is Chris Gale from what I've seen. Do you have any stories you'd be comfortable telling us, or?
What time is this? What's the audience? Actually, look, I've got a couple of clean ones. Chris, we went out once with Chris and quite a few other players in Sydney. We went to the Ivy Hotel, I think, Dazza, and after the game, they just played South Africa, and they absolutely got pantsed by South Africa, so they weren't in a good mood. And just as we were about to have a sip, I think Chris and some of the other guys had come down, and we got a nice round of drinks. The South African team came in to the West Indian hotel where they were at, and so the West Indian boys didn't want to be there any longer. So we went to the Ivy Hotel, and that was a interesting walk. And Chris and the boys got stopped about 50 times on the way. And anyway, probably about 2 a.m, I guess, we decided it was time to leave. We went to the casino, and we were still at the casino probably about 7 a.m, and it's time to go home. So Daz had gone home at that stage.
I had an early night at 2 a.m.
He calmed out by 3 o'clock. And Chris and I were still at the casino till about 7:30, and we got home, and I fortunately Chris had the sense to give me a call and say, mate, it's in your top pocket. What do you mean? Oh, the ticket of the room, the motel card. But it was 10 a.m. We'd started drinking. We drank with some Michael Parkinson. That was a great day. So Parko and Dazza and I, shared quite a few frothies that day, and talking about stories and all the.
I believe that Chris Gale may have come down with a mystery virus the next day and missed the flight to the next city.
I think he did. He did miss the plane because when we were leaving, we just made it. Thanks to Dazza waking me up. We just made it on the plane. There was a missed call from Sir Richie Richardson, who was the coach at the time, and he said, Sir Elvis, I need to speak with you. One of my players didn't make it on the plane. And he's talking about Chris, of course. And Chris got a sore back. I think he might have missed a couple of games, but didn't get out of bed for a couple of days.
You're like, worth it.
But Chris was driving my purple Cadillac one day, and we started. He just started singing Elvis or something like that, and we're singing Blue Suede Shoes, and I'm driving this purple Cadillac that was actually the star of the Elvis movie. For anyone who'd seen the Elvis movie, the purple Cadillac that Austin Butler drives in that's my car. And anyway, and I'm driving Chris.
Just casually, wow.
I'm driving Chris in this car. And he's singing. Anyway, he put it on. It got about 8 million hits on the bloody the interweb on the socials.
Oh wow!
Yeah, wow.
Some good stories.
Yeah.
So with that one, is Baz Luhrmann got in contact with you directly for that, didn't he?
I reached out to him actually, and just on his Twitter. And said, I got these cars if you want to use them. And my daughter was doing some dance work with, she's a dancer, and one of her friends was working on the cast as well. And so one way or another, either her or the tweet, they knocked on the door, and they used that car and 2 other cars and a motorbike in the movie.
Wow. Hey,
Because it was filmed in Australia, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the Gold Coast. Yeah. Just down from the distillery.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had the car. We had some of the makeup people and that turned up and had a few drinks with us that day. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, we met.
All these stories seem to have a similar theme. Yeah,
They do.
A couple of you're in the right industry, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Now, you said before, so your cricketers were getting their custom cricket shoes. Is that something that everyone could have access to, or is that very much your professional athletes that would be able to get that?
No. Look, Custom Cricket Shoes is a brand in its own right, and it's run out of the workshop at our Camp Hill Podiatry clinic there. And anyone can jump on that website, place an order, make a phone call, and we do get a lot of recreational and social players that are having comfort issues or would like to have them branded a little bit uniquely. So no, it's available to anyone.
Just great players, juniors, and obviously they see their stars on the BBL or something like that wearing shoes. We did ones for Nathan Lyon when he was playing with the Sydney Sixers. They were pink and they had nice Gary, and that just went viral. That camp, nice Gary. Remember that? We put that on the side of his shirt. Went off. So yeah, people might want to just have a shoe and put their name on it, like Darren said.
Like you said too, because they wear uniforms, it's a great way to express their individuality and whatever, their personality in any sort of way.
Well, the biggest fashion brands in the world are footwear companies.
Yeah.
You look at Nike and Adidas and the likes, they sell more apparel than just about any other fashion brand. So, it's a good way to start, isn't it?
Well, even like the French Open's on at the moment with the tennis. And the Rafa, he had 14 wins for the French Open, and that was plastered across his shoe.
Yeah.
And that goes viral on Instagram and everything, because these days it's like, okay, cool, he wears the same outfit every time, but it's a little piece of his identity that you can showcase in those tiny little ways. So it's so cool, like the customization.
Cool. Remember those backyard cricket thongs we made, Des? Some kid wanted pluggers turned. We said we can do that.
There you go.
Absolutely, and that made the BBL too.
They had to sign the indemnity form though.
Yeah. We put the rubber spikes in those ones,
Yeah.
But just a pair of pluggers, for backyard cricket. Turn them into cricket spikes. Yeah.
I'm curious now. Is that the most outlandish request you've got, or have you?
The pair of RM Williams boots, these puppies here, right? Pair of those RM Williams boots with a pair of with golf golf spikes.
I love
and
that.
it was a pro on the Gold Coast that used them for a season. That's
He
pretty
actually
outlandish.
wore them in his
Yeah,
professional games.
Absolutely.
Wow.
They look damn cool.
Yeah.
I can dig up maybe the photo and send it over. You might be able to chuck it in the link.
Yeah.
With the backyard cricket thongs too, because they were pretty cool.
Is it just cricket that you guys specialise in there, or other sports too?
We made rugby union boots for some of the wallabies who had really big feet where they couldn't actually find a shoe because most as you know intimately, this is your game in footwear. They bottom out at 13 or 14. I mean but if you what do you do if you've got a size 17 foot and you're a wallaby? So we had to take
Some big boys.
we took some shoes and we turned them into rugby union boots worn at high level. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you must get a bit of a kick about it seeing your shoes on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, and we did, with football as well. The real football, soccer. We've done a lot of work with football over the years, and men's and women's cricket. We looked after a lot of the Australian players and the Queensland women's team as well. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, women had a particularly unique situation when they were starting to become professional. There was only men's shoes really available. And so if they had a narrow foot, they had no chance of being able to find a cricket shoe. So they were most in need and were very grateful for the solution being available.
So a lot of the Heat players and other players from overseas as well would come because, like with the Heat or with, BBL, you'd get a lot of overseas players. So they'd all come in and we just know, well, we're going to be really busy next week, with these players coming in, making them for them. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, totally.
And so, what's next for you guys? You've got...
That's my question too.
You have so many passions and projects going on in the works, and you're obviously interested and are very talented at a number of things. So what do you guys see for the future of your relationship together and then individually?
Well, you can mention this.
Well, I think we've got definite goals still to achieve in the podiatry sphere, especially with this form of rehabilitation podiatry that we're practicing now. And I truly believe that should be integrated into the undergraduate training to some degree and then potentially be a postgraduate endorsement. And there's some way to go there just to get the education framed out and actually then delivered. Because there's not too many people who have got the actual skill set to be able to teach it.
Well, also the course has got shut down. There was a university course for podorthics, and it's not being taught anymore. So if we don't do something about this, then there won't be people to make custom footwear and customise footwear for people with disability.
Yeah, and I think the industry, the profession needs it as well as a retention tool because podiatry has had an issue with attrition. Workers go, 5 years, there's not much more to achieve. I think I've ticked all the boxes. Whereas this gives them additional things to work towards. And then, honestly, every day is a challenge. Once you're seeing this cohort of patients, it's amazing.
And getting back to Cauldron, mate, whiskey, we haven't released it yet. So Daz has made some. Well, we've got about 2,500 to 3,000 litres of whiskey in wood at the moment, and all dark spirits have to be matured in either French or American oak for a period of at least 2 years before. That should be released pretty soon, and that's
I'm hoping
we're doing that.
And then we've got big plans, master plans for the actual estate to have larger, unique, really funky hospitality spaces, so people can have
Wedding
weddings,
venue,
nice.
functions.
That's beautiful. It'd make a great wedding venue.
Yeah, we've got 18 acres there, and it's like a blank canvas. So we've got to get we've got to get council and state and federal governments and look at grants and ways that we can help they can help us to achieve these things. But
there's a big push on towards 32 with the Olympics coming, so we're hoping to be one of those venues that they go, that's a destination. We want visitors that are coming for the Olympic experience, but really want to just get out and see a bit more of Australia in the country. So I can come up. We're 30 minutes from the Gold Coast, an hour from Brizzy, so we're perfectly positioned, I think, to.
And then get international tourism back and get people coming in from planes and boats and coming up from the Gold Coast and Brisbane to see our beautiful venue at Tamborine Mountain.
Yeah, perfect. So, no matter what's coming up next, guys, a personal plea from me, please keep making alcohol because you're doing an absolutely cracking job at that.
Thanks, man.
If I may say so myself. Terrific. But yeah, so that's it. That's our time for today. Thanks again for joining us. You definitely have a bit of an interesting backstory there. Any kids listening, podiatry, good profession, it can take you just about anywhere. So we can't let you guys leave without a bit of a plug. So tell the people where they can find.
Told you it was a good idea.
Yeah, Cauldron Distillery, located in the winery precinct of Tamborine Mountain on Hartley Road. We're open Tuesdays through Sundays. You can buy our gin online and some specialty retailers. That's cauldrondistillery.com.au. And yeah, we'd love to see you up at our venue to experience our beautiful estate and also engage in some of the cool experiences like gin blending and gin making. And the like.
Join our customer club as well, and that way we can keep you up to date with all the offers and when the whiskey's being released.
If you need any more taste testers, I'll do it for free.
It's a very long line, Benny. A very long line, mate.
No, perfect. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks. It was a real pleasure. Thanks for asking us to come.
Thank you for listening to the Comfort Walk and Talk. If this episode has stepped up your foot care game, we'd love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
And don't forget to subscribe on your favourite platform so you never miss a step on your journey to comfort.
And for more insights, follow us at our social channels at the Comfort Walk and Talk. Walk comfortably until we meet again.